Hi there, welcome to Carcassonne with Utze. Today with the second match day of Group G. It's Tutejšyja versus Croatia. The Croatians should be in high spirits after beating Latvia 5-0, and if they manage to dispatch Tutejšyja today, their chances to reach the playoffs should be considered really great. There's not a lot of history between the players we will see today. The only history here would be Wadzimir versus Bluste, but well, already a year ago, so we don't really care about that. Let's set the date and then let's peek at the ELO ratings. There should be overall fairly close games to be expected today. So these here should be close. The same goes for table 2. Although I'd favor Buha here. Table 3, Vega Orion should be considered favored after beating Alexei. Especially that. But Pushkin, let's say he could mount an upset there. Table 4, I don't know. Usually I'd favor Bluste, but maybe on a good day, Wadzimir is of course able to win this even 2-0. And on table 5, I'd favor Gladki Alex. I think he's a tad stronger than Loki, but Loki can beat good players. One versus Napalm Eye in the match versus Latvia, so we'll see how this will go. Well, I rushed the job and either my tool is acting up or they aren't playing yet. So I'll focus on table 4. Let's check. And Wadzimir isn't playing right now. Let's check if Bluste is already in a game. And he isn't. Well, anyone else? Nope, not yet. Well then, let's check if this even works. Just picking a random game here. Sebazan J022. Well, at least Gladki versus Loki have started, and the rest of the bunch follow suit. So let me open their games in the secondary windows in the corners. And then I hope Wadzimir and Bluste will start as well, and they have. So I'll focus on these two. One thing to note, I won't switch the colors manually because from now on the home team, in this case Tutejšyja, will be playing yellow, and this should work without my interference automatically, and it looks like at least this works without problems. I didn't get who put this extender there without me playing it. And I'm really curious about this. So let me check where are the logs in this Okay. So Bluste was starting player and took this one, then Vladimir, and this must have been Bluste's move. I don't get why I didn't meeple that, even though there's one dagger already gone, so in theory this square would be more vulnerable than usual, but still I take this any day. So now pretty equal. Bluster hoping to close this city without interference, preferably by getting the usual double Dorito set up. But because there was an option for an attack from Vladimir from the bottom, he decides to close that one and hopes to get a cap here, or maybe an extender, because if he'd put an extender here, Vladimir would need a diagonal splitter to attack. But this one goes to Bluste, and he even is able to harass Vladimir's just opened city. If this wouldn't have been the case, Vladimir of course would have liked to get a road Dorito, for example. But let's not deal with what ifs. Luste could now connect or attack and then hope to get a big city tile here plus city caps this way. Else just meepling a city somewhere rather safe, for example over here, even though this would be attackable from the left side. Could have been an option, but he goes for the big city, maybe even a big city including all of these 5 meeples. Looks like I forgot to activate the auto zoom here. Yep. Okay. Please excuse this oversight. This should be fixed now. So Bluster manages to connect. Adds the last extender to this city. And now all he needs would be 2 Doritos, of course. But he'll quite likely take any city cap to put it there. There is a monastery spot in the middle of 8 points, which I guess one of them will take, but maybe not yet. Later on, last 10 moves, if you have a meeple to spare, going here would be nice. And if I were Vladimir, I would have at least considered this move now. But he fears losing out on this city. And he would have got the dagger immediately. And in this case, even leaving this city empty wouldn't have been a big problem, so just scoring the 3 points. Because if you leave the city empty and Bluster would be able to snatch it immediately, at least you'd get a nice field. And if Bluster would have just gotten the field, then maybe you'd get the city later. But he did go there. No content move, just the regular one. Might now defend his city up top. The 4 big city pieces still out there. Well, okay, this works. Will score more in the end because he'll add quite likely 5 road points plus 4, maybe 6 or 8 for the city. But then why this? Why not just better here take 2 points? No, leave another 3-point option. Same goes here. And if you'd go here to take the 4-point road, well, you'd need a curve here and there. So maybe not ideal, but in the end, at least understandable. Now with 3 meeples in hand, I would expect another city by Vazimir. Of course, he could go for this attack, but then he'd create another option on the left anyway. And this won't be closed in a few moves, so quite likely he'll be able to attack this later on. Because no matter which piece would be put over here, there would be an attack there or here. But he goes for the attack. Well, still 4 big city tiles out there. Why not? But right now, with the slight lead on the scoreboard and more meeples in hand, I'd say the position looks better for Bluster. Now that he even prevents yellow from running away with this city and is able to extend this, whereas yellow has to get a second big city piece, because the first one would quite likely go at the bottom. Bluster could have forfeited this 4-point road and instead, for example, like this, try to prevent or at least limit the possible city attack on the left side. But he did go for the pure equity here and now hopes to obstruct here, maybe additionally there, to prevent yellow from taking this city over with 4 to 3 meeples. That's an interesting move by yellow here. I'm not sure it was definitely the best one. Maybe first connecting here would have been better, but no matter which piece Bluste could or would put here, you'd always have a 50-50 shot at closing the city. And if Bluste would attack, then you'd have a 50-50 shot at winning this ruin. Because of course you'd never put the quadruple city there to connect two of your opponent's meeples. And that's how the situation has changed and looks to be in yellow's favor. Even though their monastery is dead, second road monastery is on the right. So Vazimir's main problem would be the creation of a large field, for example, something like that. Already two cities here, maybe a way to connect to the top field. And now Bluste has two options to attack this again. These two are in a tie. Bluste won't do anything there to connect. He'd rather kill this completely. Might do now to prevent bad things from happening here. Yep, so it's a ruin for sure, but at least from Vazimir's perspective, a ruin worth 23 points or something. 10, 17, 18, 22. My count is accurate. So Bluste has to attack this. It's the biggest feature. And if he manages to tie this, then he more or less has won the game. Because with only one meeple, Vazimir won't outscore Bluste's lead here. And that's why defense on the left side. And now that there's only one big city piece left, the horse. Even if Bluste were to attack here, he'd only have a 50-50 shot at being successful. And my count was right the first time, wrong the second time, so 23 points is the worth of this ruin. Plus 8 over here, so 31 points. Minus the 16, minus 3. Plus 2. So 14 points is yellow's lead here. On table 5, Gladki Alex won the first game versus Lorky. And here we go. Second game already running. Yeah, looks like I've broken my tool. Not displaying the old results. Well, then we'll live with that for a moment. So Vega Orion wins their game on table 3 versus Pushkin. And here Lust is snatching a 6-point field, still has this dead meeple here, scoring 3 points. All 8 crossroads are gone. The last horse is gone as well, so yellow just adding 1 point. This square was dead anyway. So 24 points for the rune right now. 32, 34, minus 18, 16, 13, 7 is the lead for yellow here. There is no monastery left, so Luster has to hope to get a city cap on the left side. So let's check if there's still one available. The roses are gone because all crossroads are gone. But it looks like there's still one starting tile available. And I don't see a third left-handed dagger as well. For that matter, there's also one of the right-handed daggers still remaining. So Luste might even add 2 cities to his field. So this will be a nail biter and might just come down to Bluster being the starting player here. Yellow could attack here now and hope to get the last right-handed dagger to connect. Maybe there's even a curve left. There is. This would be a nice chance to then win the game if they hit one of the 2 pieces. Which actually is quite likely. So Bluster would need to get one of 2 pieces out of the remaining 3, so 2/3. And then Wadzimir would need to miss. So his chance would be 66%. Let's see if he finds that and if my count was even accurate. He only has a minute and a half left on the clock, but I think it's already taken 2 minutes for this move, so he should be able to find this. And he does. Bluster manages to get the curve. Now it's a 50-50 for Vladimir. And Bluster's best move should be this, taking 6 points. Or no, not that. Oh, let's count. He could counter attack. What did I say? 24 points ruin, 32, 34, 22, so 12, 9. Ooh, if my count is correct, then actually tied right now. So if Bluster would go over here, and that way either both connect or no one connects, and the game would be tied either way. So Bluster can't counterattack. If my count is correct. And after this game closes, I'll have to reset my tool to the previous version. And then all the results should appear here. Yeah, and Bluster has 5 minutes to think about this. So let's actually count this ruin again. So 5, 11 plus 5 is 16 plus 5 is 21 plus 3 is 24. 8, 32. This config is plus 2, so 34 minus 22 is still 12, minus 3 is still 9. And this here ties the game. But Bluster can't use the counter attack, even if this would be the best move actually. But it doesn't work. He has to hope that Vladimir misses the right-handed dagger and gets the left-handed one. Great. Just great. And I'm checking the daggers again, and I only see the 4 of them. So these 2 and then the other orientation. One of you sees a third one of either orientation. Please say so. I don't. Yeah. Oh, das Suspense. Hitchcock. And I think it should dawn on Bluster that there's actually no way for him to prevent this here. Just has to hope it's a 50-50. Unless he pulls a rabbit out of the hat, I don't see. or one of them violates the clock, of course, but let's hope they won't. I think this move is now running for 4 minutes, roughly 4. No! 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 Okay, so, well, survivor bias. If he gets, that is Vladimir, if Vladimir gets this dagger, it doesn't even matter what Bluste does. But well, tough luck. Let's see if my scoring was correct, and it looks like it. Yeah. The expected outcome, at least the expected outcome of the last minutes. This was actually the move to score this year, to tie, to win this field again, but doesn't help. So tough luck for Bluste. Let's see if they need a break here. No, it looks like they have already started their second game. So now I need to quickly fix the tool here. So I'll leave you with the view of the game for now. I need a minute or so. Gladkey Alex on table 5 won their second game as well. So if I remember correctly, Tutejšyja is in the lead now with 1-0. So quick refresh here. And now we are having results from the completed games again. Vladimir with the perfect starting piece, getting an extender, taking an 8-point city. And because this looks like a juicy field in the making, any curve over here would expand this field here. The same goes for this option. You already have squares here. You will get more squares there, and likely these green squares as well. The only problem for now is this configuration. Big cities usually aren't that great for farmers, because too many tiles get wasted there. Yep, that's quite the risky move, but there are all 3 daggers still available. Yeah, but tough luck. Bluste gets the perfect piece. Any road Dorito would have worked of course, as well, but getting the dagger allows him to get this city for himself. Yeah, thanks for the confirmation, Glovia. But I think even finding that option, that field attack on the left side for Vladimir, we'd have to applaud. That's, well, let's say not everyone would have found this. And chances to connect, of course, were quite great. So Bluste, are you going to go here, or do you prefer the indirect defense? And he prefers the indirect defense, considering quite a lot of possible blocking tiles are already gone. So only one extender, 2 vertical splitters, and 2 vanilla caps are remaining to block this here to the quadruple city tile. This works. Maximian now not taking the monastery. Why not? This is a perfectly healthy monastery. It scores at least 6 points for now. It's quite likely that you'd be able to put road pieces there, and the connection square, even if you hope that blue won't get it, their chances are quite good with 75%. So why not at least take this monastery as compensation? I don't get this. There's not even that great a chance of blocking this square because these 3 daggers are still remaining in the deck. Well, let's see if these 8 points, possibly 9 points in the end, mean anything, or if Bluster just runs away with 2 cities here. Another monastery, well, in this case, hoping to block blue's monastery, that's okay. Else I'd also would have preferred with 2 meeples in hand a more aggressive approach, especially considering Bluster's chances to score big here. So going over here, then hoping to liberate this quite soon. And you still have this one here waiting for curve. And the longer that meeple waits, lost my train of thought. What did I want to say? The longer this meeple waits, and there are still 6 curves out there, the more likely it'll be that yellow will draw one. So I really don't see the need to go for this. But either way, Luste got the perfect piece to react here, scoring 4 points and defend. But now this monastery is dead anyway because all 4 starting tiles are gone. So at least there's another city cap to be added to yellow's field. Luste did go for this option because he needs the big city piece elsewhere. Normally you'd rather use this Dorito here and then hope to get a big city piece and close this with another Dorito. But given that all three horses are out of the game, there was actually, well, he could have considered going over here anyway and then hoping to get the Dorito here and later on close with the city cap, and this way prevent any attacking options for yellow. And there are still 3 Doritos out there, so I actually would have preferred this option than hoping to get another Dorito plus a cap without interference by yellow. Yeah, wishful thinking, but still. Oh, yellow got to close their city on the right side, but blue uses this to attack the field. Maybe he even miscounted, because he needs 2 pieces to connect over here, but with still 3 curves out there, something like this would work. On table 2, Buha just equalized the duel, won the second game with 30 points. So these two need a decider, and the same goes for Pushkin versus Vega Orion. And a quick peek at table 1 lets me think that this actually is damn close. Yeah, Blue's position is actually better because he still has a great chance to close this city. And if these 2 Doritos gone, there's only one left, plus the last cow and the quadruple city to connect here. So yellow might even need to hope not to get the Dorito to connect, but the cow or quadruple city will then be able to attack this. And considering there are 3 left-handed daggers out there, using the cow here and then hoping to get the dagger on your next turn would be maybe the best thing. Maybe he'd even go here, but problem now is that the last Dorito is gone as well. So he'd actually need to hit both big city pieces, and that's a tad unlikely. I think too unlikely to go for this option. Because Bluster has no meeples in hand, Yellow can play shenanigans like that. Now this is actually dead, because all city caps or larger city tiles like the Doritos or horses with the road are gone. And that's why not meepling the city was correct by yellow. This move works for yellow because blue's field was at 6 points, yellow's field at 9, so it's -3 move considering just the fields. But you score +7 for this monastery, and there is still a chance to liberate this, I think. Let's count the straits. Oh, actually, all straits are gone. But there's still one regular crossroad to liberate this. So Bluster just got the last vanilla cap to close their city, expand the main field to now 18 points. Because this connection was established, and of course he successfully attacked field. Azimir now has to hope to be successful with his attack on the left. And Bluster just got the dagger to snatch a 6-point field in addition. And now Vazimir needs to win the field outright to win the game here. Meepling the right field near the... Oh, you mean over here, Glovier. So what Glovier is saying, don't do this, except go here with a farmer. And then if blue manages to get the vanilla, which was the only connecting piece for them, then you'd at least have a tight field. And you'd still have the option of getting curve up top. And if they don't get the vanilla, there is still the curve to at least get this 6-point field and take these 3 points from blue. Whoops. Misclick. Table 1 runs their decider as well. And yeah, please remind me to open new tables if I forget about them. Oh, Bluster goes for the 50-50 at the bottom. And Vazimir finds a nice attack on the field. There's still one curve available? Question mark. Yep, one. But then he'd snatch the, what is it, 24 points right now? Yep, the 24-point field. And he has to get the curve anyway, because if he doesn't, then Bluster will and would take over. No, he doesn't even need to do that because he already owns the main field right now with 2 versus 1 farmers, and the only option for yellow to connect would be the last curve. Yeah, that's the problem with this monastery here. If you don't put it there, then it's only a 50-50 shot for blue to connect, because at this point, after getting this penultimate monastery, there was only this one here left in the deck. So this could have been the move with which Vladimir shot himself in the foot. It will depend on the last curve and cow. So to me it looks like Vladimir will need both. Didn't we count that all starting tiles and straights are gone? If that was correct, then this is a drunken 0-point farmer by blue. Let's count again. But I'm pretty sure I was right. Yep, and this was the last crossroad as well, so tough miss by blue here. Now that Vladimir got the cow, city attacker at the bottom by blue won't be successful. So right now it's a 50-50 shot for Bluste to at least get the curve. And with the curve, I think he should win this. He's at +5. Monasteries are equal. +6. +3. Oh, why do I count? If he gets the curve, he gets the main field, and that's game over. Damn. If he doesn't get the curve, then yellow will connect and will take over the main field and win. Because these 24 points are just way too much to overcome with all blue has on the board already. Just now when I sip a bit of tea. Well, Bluste gets the curve. And unless I'm heavily mistaken, wins the game. So, with 5.5 minutes on the clock, he'll exercise due diligence here. He'll closely and likely several times will count the road monasteries. 1, 2, all are gone. And the curves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in your hand. No connection possible. This square is dead. This square is dead. Blue will win this game. So, and we are waiting for blue to be sure enough to execute any move but this or this. Let's see how long they need to convince themselves that they've won this game and they could play any move but the two mentioned a few seconds ago. And then we could pick, excuse me, we could pick one of the other games that are near the end. So table 2 or table 4 to watch another endgame Let me quickly check what Nallerheim is doing, because I really don't like double coverage of games, especially not end games. And he's oh, he doesn't even watch one of those end games, so he's at table 1 then. Any preference? You got 5 seconds. Well, who's closer to the end? Pushkin. So let's pick Pushkin versus Vega Orion. And if Bluste and Vazimir will start their game, and they already have. And I'll open that one in the top right corner for now. After this end game, if it works out, I'd switch to Chikabombuhan to get their last pieces if it's close, that is. And then in the end, back to Bluste versus Vazimir. What are we having here? So Pushkin has 14 points on the scoreboard. I would expect this one here to be dead, but let's check. It's indeed dead. So 18 for yellow. 25 yellow. Let's first check if this is still available. I see 2. And the other daggers are left-handed ones. So high impact piece is the last remaining dagger. And I guess if yellow gets that one, they'd win this game here. And their chances look good to win it without even. So let's count. 18, 25. The field up top is tied. 6 for blue. So 19, 5, 14. And this ruin scores 13. And this here then exactly ties the game. Not sure about this. Either you know that there are caps available with the field to the left side, then you'd go for this move. Well, maybe there are still both options available. For example, I only see 3 starting tiles. Nope, there is the 4th one. What about roses? Looks like there's still a rose available. So not going over here, as blue was the right choice, or might have been the right choice. Yeah, so blue got the dagger. Yellow snatches this road for +5, but this here adds 6 points. Blue, and this is close. Maybe even a tie. And it is a tie. And this means yellow, as a second player, wins this ever so close decider by the Crafty Raph second player rule. Crafty Raph because he more or less pushed BGA to fix this dreaded situation of ties, and that the second player wins in a case of a tie is only right. So enough said about this one here. Let's go to Chica Bomb versus Buha and check whichever team will be able to take the 2-1 lead in this match. There is no road monastery left, so this square is dead. It looks like yellow will win the field. Blue is likely looking whether they need to attack the field. Let's check how many cities we are dealing with. And if this stays at 6 cities and maybe over here there's an option to add another one. Well, let's account for these 6 cities. Then if it stays that way, blue would win this game. -1 here, +4, so +3. Oh, I missed the 9-point field by yellow, so +6 and +13. So blue has to tie the field, else they lose. They are 10 points behind. And Chica Bomb now checking whether this would be a total block. And if not, if it's actually necessary, and they'd have this option as well. But this one wouldn't work because there's at least one monastery left to connect. Looks like the caps are gone. The vanilla, no, wrong count, excuse me. Where was the 5th one? I saw it. Here's the 5th one. So the vanilla caps are gone. Then the diagonal splitters are gone as well. And if this was the 5th field Dorito, the square would have been blocked or would be blocked. But there's still one field Dorito out there to connect here. Buha, sadly for them, can't defend or indirectly defend. But this only matters if there'd still be a city plus road piece to block this. Doesn't look like it. And Buha misses out. Doesn't get the Dorito. And the Dorito would have won the game. And this way I don't see them scoring 7 points because this one scores 3. But there's no way to score the needed 7 here. So in the end, it should be -4 from blue's perspective. Oh, let's check. Yep, my count was accurate. So Tutejšyja takes a 2-0 lead here. Looks like table 1 is reasonably close to the end. Let's quickly assess their situation on the big screen. There is a gaping hole in this big city, but there are still 2 cows out there. There are options for blue to attack this field. And if you don't mind, I'd like to stick around here to cover this, because this could be the decisive game of this match. So yellow gets one of the cows. Quite likely thinking about blocking blue's field attack. Up top the field is tight, so any connection over here right now would only be profitable for yellow, because they'd kill these 3 points from blue's score. This monastery and the one on the left are equal, so blue has 8 points, 11 points. Let's not account for this field right now. So 11 for blue. And yellow's ruin, at least right now, yellow's ruin is worth 19 points. And scoreboard difference is 6 points. So if the main field would be tight in the end, then right now yellow would win by just a few points. And they even have a chance to connect here again. Let's check how good this one is. Looks like there is no chance to connect there, because all curves are gone. So then I have to ask, why do you take this if you could take 3 points elsewhere and even are still hoping to get the other cow as well, which you then could add to your ruin. And taking a 3-point field away from your opponent, well, actually no sense in doing that on this board. There's another 3-point field here, which blue would take, because this would add another point to them, or the monastery for that matter. And there's a 4-point road up top, so more features would be better than this 3-point field here. So that's, at least I would consider that a miss by Rainer Kuhn. Yellow now takes the 5-point road. Punchy gets an 8-point city. And Rainer Kuhn misses out on the cow, and that's a win for blue here. So then Bazimir and Bluster are playing the decider. And they are close to the end as well. So let me open any other review up top, so won't interfere here. And this move looks like yellow definitely needs to win the field, win this game, else it's just reckless. Whoa. What the hell is this? So looks like both of them need to win this field. Well, I can't believe this. Blue is ahead 32 points and yellow only scores 11 plus the ruin, so 11 deducted from 32, 21. The ruin is worth 8 plus 7, 15. So still 6 points to cover. And the field actually covers that. It's worth 18 points right now. So looks like both of these moves weren't wrong, because yellow hoped to get an insurance farmer to the field due to blue's options at the top to connect the farmer on the right side. And yellow now did go for the starting tile. There is still one out there. And both have a lot of time still on their clock, so let's actually note down the scores here. So blue has 1 plus 4 points for their cities at the bottom and a scoreboard lead of 23 points. The ruin is owned by yellow now and it should be worth 17 points. Let me quickly assess this again. No, 16. And there's a ruin on the right side, scoring 3 points in yellow's favor. And the main field right now is tied at 18. And yellow even goes for the jugular here, putting all the eggs in one basket, hoping to get the starting tile, and with this take a super majority of 3-1 farmers on the main field. And if they managed it and blue can't do the same, then yellow would win this game. So let's check if blue still has an option to connect here. Blue still has 2 moves left. So in theory, he could put a third farmer on this main field. So all road Doritos are gone. But I don't see the third left-handed dagger. Yep. So there's still the dagger available. The roses are gone, so this won't be blocked. At least not with one move. And well, if Vazimir doesn't get the starting tile immediately, he might consider trying to block this. What else is out there? Well, a horse. Bluste just closes their city because he knows if he'd use the dagger over there. This would be a wasted move in the case of yellow getting the starting tile. So he just takes the 6 plus 3 extra points on the bottom left, just in case yellow would have gotten the starting tile. So Bluster wins this game with this, the duel, and with this duel, the match for Croatia. And it actually was a 50-50 in the end. Tough luck for Vacimir here. Quite a great choice to add this third farmer and go all in on the starting tile and secure the 50-50, which in this game, at least in most cases, is just the chance you've started with, more or less. So why not go for this in the end if there's nothing else that would work better? So close call here, close game, interesting games at that. 2 ties we've witnessed today, and one in favor of Tutejšyja, one in favor of Croatia. So I think that's fair. I didn't check or didn't note how often the respective sides were starting player in the duels. This could be, of course, be an unfair advantage for one of the parties. But I guess we'll have to live with this. If you are annoyed by these starting player and Swiss system problems, well, please go to BGA's bug page and upvote the respective bugs. There are a lot out of there. You'll find the right ones if you're interested enough, and if you aren't able to find the right ones, well, just open a chat with me and I'll point you there. I have them saved somewhere. Okay, this actually was it for today. There's no other match scheduled for today, I think. Yep, the next one is United Kingdom, Guatemala, tomorrow, 11 UTC, and then there is a bunch of them. I'm unlikely to stream these two. Maybe on short notice, let's say 10 to 20% be able to cover UK versus Guatemala, but I don't think this will work out for me. I've already scheduled a stream to cover Chile versus Greece and sadly concurrently running Latvia versus Taiwan. I just wish there would be more foresight on the captain's parts or an option to better stagger these matches so they wouldn't run concurrently, but it is what it is for now, and I'll decide once the stream is running, maybe a few minutes earlier, which of these matches I'll focus on. Right now, I'd say Latvia, Taiwan. What? Actually, The lineups are online, so let's check them out on Carcassonne GG real quick, because there we'd have the ELO ratings as well, and maybe could gauge which of these matches should be the closer one. Well, I'd say the Chileans should win tables 4 and 5, and everything else should be more or less a toss-up. And Latvia, that's actually interesting here. Latvia still going with their top 3, of course. No use in sitting out Alexei or Krishna. Quite unlikely that both of them would lose a second duel 0-2. I'd be most curious in table 2, but everything else could be interesting as well. Maybe with the exception of table 5, I don't think Sakura Kim has a great chance to upset Alexei there, but well, Vega Orion did, but then I think Vega Orion is the stronger player than Sakura Kim, but let's see about that. So right now my tendency is to cover Latvia Taiwan tomorrow. Maybe I'll change the the stream description, but we'll see about that. So now that we are here, then in the late evening my time, I'll cover Mexico, Portugal as well. And I'll talk about Sunday then. That's just a bunch load of games in quick succession, actually running concurrently most of the time. At least these 3 are. We'll see which one I'll be able to cover, and due to Finland and Latvia not playing on Sunday, I would expect all of these games to be covered by at least one of the English-speaking streamers here. So just check back on Carcassonne GG to be updated. Thanks for staying, and I'll see you. Bye bye.